Come on in. Come on in, TLC, Facebook family, Instagram family, YouTube family. Come on in. This is the day for real. And now is the time. Now is all there is. And in this eternal now, we are loved. In this eternal now, we are prospered. In this eternal now, healing is going on. Yes, healing in our heart, in our minds, and our souls. Healing in our emotions. Because there's only one presence, one power, and one activity. And it's going on right now. Ain't that right, Miss Audra? Joe Harris, all the way from Tennessee. Ain't that right? Jean, ain't no telling where Jean is. Hey, Coffee, good morning. Come on in, family. It's going to be a wonderful service this morning. We've got a great speaker, and we've got the Holy Spirit always. Come on in, Sandy. Come on in, Armithia. Come on in, Donna. Yes, life is still good. We have challenges. We have growing pains. But we're growing. If you're walking through the valley of the shadow of death, just keep on walking. Life is still good. Good morning. Come on in. I've got joy inside my tears this morning. Oh, yeah. I've got joy inside of my pain. That's a lyric from one of Stevie Wonder's songs. Joy inside of my pain. Yes. Both things are going on at the same time. Yes. Turn the music down a bit, Jay. Yes. Yes, before we started this morning, I got a call from my sister letting me know that my niece had made her transition with a head-on collision this morning. And so, of course, that really had me in a way. However, I'm reminded again, this is not our home. We did not come here to stay. However, when people leave like that, it's a shock. Sometimes it's a shock when they don't leave like that. And we're just going to start lifting up all those who are bereaved this morning, including me. I'm grieving. I'm grieving. We also have a very, very special soul named Mama LaBarbara Wilson, who went back to be with God. She graduated. And I'm calling it graduation family because there are so many leaving this planet. And this is Earth School. So after we have learned, after our souls have learned everything it came to learn and we've grown, it's time to go. We can understand this intellectually. We can understand this. We can understand this intellectually. However, we're still human. We still feel. When we love, we get attached. I got attached to Mama LaBarbara. She poured a lot into me. She poured her wisdom. She poured her love into me, her strength into me. And I just adored being with her and Dr. Wilson. I just adored being able to go to lunch and parks and laugh until I had to pee, literally, because some of the jokes that she would tell would put me in that state. So right here and right now, we lift up the Wilson family, Dr. Wilson, her sister, her brother, all the family members who are impacted. I lift up my family. I lift up my family that don't even know yet that my niece has made her transition this morning. I lift up her mother. I know you are there. I know that when we grieve, you come closer and you are the comforter, Most High God, Holy Spirit. You are the comforter because nothing else can go and penetrate our hearts but you. So I'm giving thanks. Thank you for allowing me, us, TLC, to know one of our community mothers, Mama LaBarbara Wilson. And thank you that she's with you, that she's free. Yes. And my niece is free. We lift up all those who are dealing with physical illnesses and health challenges. We lift up Mama Bert and Don Don and anybody else that we might not even know about. God is. We partake of the life of God. And there's only one life. And that life is God. And that life is your life right now and my life right now. And for this truth, I do give thanks. And so it is. Amen. God bless. Love you, Mama. Yay. Love you. She's still with us in spirit. Spirit can't die. Thank you. And now we are ready for a special message. And before I bring on Dr. Rose Moten, I just want to share a little bit. We talked earlier this week, and we talked about the importance of transparency and being authentic. We talk about that all the time, though. And I'm going to say that being in leadership, I think it's even more vital that leaders become more transparent and more authentic and understand that even though people might want to put you on a pedestal, and even though it's true that some other leaders might want to put themselves on a pedestal as if they have made it, as if they have arrived, I'm here today to say, ain't nobody arrived. Because when we finish the lessons we came here for, it will be time to go. And if we're still here, guess what? We're all, can I say that word again? We're all learning lessons. Last summer, I started really feeling challenged with my health. And I called Dr. Rose. I call her sister daughter. And we had talked before about the trauma release experience that she does. So she was able to do that with me. And she told me about this story, which I'm going to allow her to tell since she is on here today. And when she told me about that story stayed on my mind every day. I couldn't shake it. I couldn't shake it. And I kept affirming that I was that white flamingo, which she's gonna explain in a second. And by me speaking that out of my mouth, I really found out again how powerful our words are. Because I started having some experiences that had me looking like the white flamingo. So without further ado, I'm bringing on Dr. Rose Moten, clinical psychologist. Don't bring her on yet. I gotta show them something. Clinical psychologist, the CEO and founder of Bloom Transformation Center in Detroit, in the D, which I love. She is the mother of 4 awesome children. And here's the part, I gotta get my iPad open because when I looked at her bio, I said, "You know what? This woman has done so much." Y'all need to just go on her website and see. OWN. She's been featured on OWN, Channel 7, WXYZ, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, GM, Local 4, TEDx. She's done work for Chase, the city of Detroit. Look, there you go. More than I could say. And without further ado, let's bring her on. Doctor, the doctor.
Hello, sister mama. Look, we sit back and say, how do we do it? It's only through the grace of God, right?
Yes.
Only through the grace of God. But
Totally.
I want to just extend my condolences to you, the passing of your beautiful niece, Mama Labara, Barbara. And, the fact that you are even willing to come on getting that tragic news this morning and still pour into us just speaks volumes of, why so many, including myself, love you. You are just such a gift to this world. And I just wanted to let that be known. I've let it be known before, but there's never too many times to let it be known, right?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So we're
Well,
wearing our pink.
go ahead.
We're wearing our pink.
Yeah, we're getting our pink back, but they don't know that story yet.
So you want me to jump right into the story? Okay, so
I'm getting off. I'm getting off after you jump into the story and I say a few things. I'm getting off so you can really give the message.
okay, but I'm gonna talk and then we can talk about the story a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Well, it was last summer, and like you said, like most women, we talk about it. You feel overwhelmed, depleted. It's just in our nature. We are just conditioned to be individuals that are so overly concerned with everyone else, and oftentimes in neglect of ourselves, or oftentimes not recognizing our own depletion, because it's
Yes.
so important for us, for those people that we love, that we care about, to just be well, that we'll put that on the back burner. So, in the midst, you named everything I'm doing, everything that I've done. And I look back and people say, how did you do it? In addition to raising 4 kids. And I just tell them, I just didn't think about it. And we'll talk about that in the message, right? Because if I thought about it, I wouldn't get up in the morning.
Hello.
It was a time. It was just a lot going on. And if you know me, I'm transparent about my life. I don't try to present. A lot of people want to look in and just assume you got it made, and nothing could be further from the truth. We all have our cross to bear. But this last summer, running a business, even though my children are adults, if I learned when my oldest turned 18, you never stop being a parent.
No.
Everything, family, friends, relationships. It was just so much going on all at once. And I still had to run a business. I still had to pay my bills. I still had to, do all this stuff. And I came across this reel, and it was amazing reel. And the story, you can see it on my Instagram, my YouTube as well. But it was a young Black young man doing a podcast, and his host, they were talking about women. This was someone that the host was a male, but he specialized in really helping and working with women. And he asked the host, he said, you ever wonder why flamingos lose their pink? And of course, that immediately caught my eye, because I'm like, what do you mean? We all know flamingos are pink, right? And so even the podcast host looked at him a little confused. And he says, if you look at a flock of flamingos, there's usually one or two in that flock that are white. They're all white. They don't have any pink left. And, I Google it and I see a picture and I'm like, wow, that's true. He said, those are usually the females of the flock that has spent so much time pouring into their young, even feeding their young, but also caring for others in the flock, doing what females do, that they've poured so much and cared and nursed their children that they've depleted the enzyme that they possess from eating the shrimp and things of that sort that makes them pink. And as a result, they become white. That blew me away. That blew me away because I'm like, oh my gosh, even flamingos, even the females in flamingos are pouring from an empty cup to the point that they're losing their color. They're losing their color. And so I went around that whole day just saying, I'm getting my pink back. It just resonated with me. I go
Yes.
to the center and I conduct the sound healing, and I'm heading back home. I'm walking home because I can walk home from the center. And as I'm walking home, the clouds are coming in. It's getting, rainy and cloudy and windy. And so I run in, my home real quick, and I come upstairs and I like to look out because I'm right on the water. And I like to look out at the water, at the storm, even when the storms are coming in. And this literally, I look out at the water, and you guys, I took videos to prove it.
You
What
show me. She
I
showed
showed
me the
you
video, and it's
showed
true.
you the video probably before I even put it up, I believe. Yeah, before
Yes.
I even did a video about it, I
Yes.
showed you the video because it was so profound. It took me a few days to digest what I experienced, this synchronicity of what I experienced. I looked outside in this wind and rainstorm in the Detroit River. I'm looking out at the water now, and in the middle of that river was a inflatable pink flamingo dead smack in the middle of the Detroit River, blowing around, turning over. But every time it turned over, it got back up. It wasn't staying down. And that was so just indicative of who we are and what we do. We are hit with the storms of life. We're knocked down. Sometimes we lose our balance, but we always find our way back up. And
Yes.
so that has kind of been my theme since seeing that last summer. I'm getting my pink back. I'm getting my
Yes.
pink back. And what's so amazing about it, I shared the video last summer, but I went back and reshared it again. I trimmed it down and shared it again just about a month and since that time, it's been over 350,000 views, tens of thousands of
Viral.
shares. It's gone viral. I mean,
Viral.
people we know, famous folks we know, have commented, liked it, shared, things of that sort. And what really just blew me away, because that was just confirmation that, oh my gosh, we feel this way. All women feel this way. And not just those of us, again, you looking at maybe Dr. Shaheerah, or you're looking at myself and you're like, oh, they got it made, or they don't understand my struggle. When I tell you, I had people in Hollywood liking and commenting and sharing on that, because I don't care what you perceive someone's status to be in life. We all face the same thing. We all face challenges. Life throws us
Yes.
all curveballs.
Yes.
2 weeks ago, about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, I had a group of women, unbeknownst to me, come in. It was about 7 or 8 of them. And they walked in, and it took me a minute because we're in the midst of getting ready to do my sound healing meditation. And these women came in the class with shirts, flamingo shirts. They gave me a flamingo shirt. They all had little flamingo little bouncy things on their head. They gave me the flamingo bracelets with the flamingo hanging off the bracelet. And they said that they decided they wanted to have a Get My Pink Back weekend. They had the
Yes.
little mugs and the t-shirt, all of that stuff. And we have another group of women that are coming in next month, called with the same thing. That video really resonated with us, and we're getting together and we're going to have a Get Our Pink Back weekend. So to see how this is touching so many women, because we can relate it. I always say there's a sense of comfort when there's that universality, that we realize
Yes.
we are not alone.
No.
It's not
No.
just us. But going back to what you said, Rev, is that's why it's so important for us to be transparent and vulnerable, because
Yes.
I always
Yes.
say transparency equals freedom. and transparent, not just for you, but even for those individuals you are sharing your story with. The vulnerability of all of that lets people know it's okay, because that's the only way we're going to get our pink back. But they talk about, even in that video, how part of what helps the flamingo get their pink back is actually removing themselves from the flock, right? Removing themselves from the flock, kind of going off on their own so they can have time to rest, to recover, to recalibrate, to replenish. And I always say, we look to nature, because animals are nature, we're nature, right? If we look to nature, we are told how we
Need
can
to
get back in
function.
alignment, right?
How we need to function.
How
If we
we
look
need
at
to
nature.
function,
Yep,
how we need to function.
that's right.
So, I appreciate you just letting me even share that story again. That is just, I know there's a whole platform, and just a sneak peek to your folks. Just stay tuned. We're gonna have a Get Your Pink Back retreat in
Yes.
2026, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
gonna be some flamingos involved. So that's all I'm gonna say. Look,
Thank you. And let's let Dr. Rose bring forth this message.
oh
And
my
God bless
God,
you.
love you.
I love
So good morning. This is always a pleasure. This is gonna be just so. I want to just be so conversational with you guys today. And I know it's a one-way conversation when I'm talking, but I'm reading your comments for sure. But I wanted to talk this morning just about vibrations, about energies, about vibrating higher, and how getting in alignment with our lives is the first step to really inviting in a wonderful, supernatural, abundant, prosperous life. Again, that doesn't mean a life without curveballs or things that may hit you from time to time. You see what Rev is struggling with this morning with the loss of a loved one. But when we learn to align and we learn to vibrate higher, that alignment and that vibrational energy we take is that bat that we have against those curveballs. We're able to kind of just really knock those curveballs out the park and be able to navigate around them when we have the skills and the awareness of what vibrational alignment can do for us. So Nikola Tesla, name that is not too popular around here now, but we don't want to condemn the man, because Nikola Tesla was a very instrumental man in our history, that just really recognized the bridge between vibration, frequency, energy, and how to utilize that to even invent some of the technologies we have today. My phone, the ability that you guys are able to see me on the camera today. 50 years ago, this would have been unheard of. But Nikola Tesla, one of his famous quotes is that he says, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Those three things: energy, frequency, and vibration. Now, while a lot of people interpreted this on a spiritual or metaphysical level, this man, he applied it to quantum mechanics, which allowed us again to just develop all of this wonderful technology that kind of brings us together in ways that we never imagined it can be done. And I always say, and I want you guys to just keep this in mind too, I believe that we can explain any and everything on this earth, in this planet, in terms of spirituality or in terms of science. They're two sides of the same coin. And we have to understand that utilizing both of those roads, there are many roads to get to the same destination, allows us to get there so much faster. So even before we get started, I want to do a quick exercise with you guys. And I promise it won't take any more than 2 minutes, but I want you all to stand up. And I'm going to stand up too, because I want to show you, I want to do a demonstration for you guys to just show you the power of vibrational energy. So if everyone can stand, I'm going to move my camera. I hope I don't unplug anything, but we'll get it together if I do. Everybody kind of stand up. Let me turn my camera up so you guys can see me there. Let me push it back. So if I can get everyone to stand up. So what we're going to do, and I promise this is only going to take a few minutes. So I want everyone to kind of stand with your feet together. We're not moving our feet at all. We're going to stand with our feet together. And I want everyone to raise both arms up. and point your right index finger. And when I say go, whatever room you're in, I'm give everybody time to stand up. Whatever room you're in, when I say go, again, you're not moving your feet, you're just twisting your body. I want you to, with that right index finger pointed, I want you to turn and twist and point to the furthest point you can point to in that room with that right index finger. So again, you're raising both arms up, pointing that right index finger, feet together, knees together, and just twist your body and go as far as you can in the room. And I want you to make a mental note. I want you to make a mental note of where that point is in that room. You're not sitting down yet. You're not sitting down yet. So everyone made the mental note? Okay, now I want you to come back to starting position. Feet together, knees together, and I want your arms on your side this time because right now we're just going to visualize. So I want you, same thing what you just did. I want you now to just imagine, you're not doing it. Imagine raising both arms back up, pointing that right index finger. And I want you to imagine going back to that point in the room that you went to, that furthest point you said you went to. Now I want you to imagine coming back to starting position and putting both arms down. Once again, we're just imagining, we're visualizing. I want you to visualize once again, raising both arms up, pointing that right index finger. It's good to do it with your eyes closed because you were just seeing yourself in your mind's eye doing it. And now I want you to visualize turning and twisting your body to about 1 foot, 12 inches further than you did. See that. Come back to starting position. Imagine putting both arms down. Now, once again, we're just imagining. I want you to imagine raising both arms up, pointing that right index finger. This time, imagine yourself going over about 3 feet further than you did, than that initial point on the wall. See it in your mind's eye. Come back to starting position, arms down. And one last time, I want you to just imagine raising both arms up, pointing that right index finger. And in your mind's eye, I want you to visualize yourself going in a complete 360 turn. You're coming back to starting position. Don't ask how it's done. You're just seeing it in your mind's eye. See it, see it, see it. Come back to starting position. Put both arms down. Now I want you to open your eyes. And I want you to actually, once again, to actually raise both arms up as you did before. And now I want you to turn your body, as you did, point that right index finger, and go as far as you can in the room. Go as far as you can. And I'm going to give it a few seconds, but I guarantee that all of you went further than you did. If you did, just comment, tell me what your experience was. Every time I do this with a group, they are amazed. I did this with a group of women actually in Ethiopia, in Kenya, and it blew their minds. Because if you remember, when we initially did it, I said, point your right index finger. I see the wow. Thanks, Pure Juice and Joy Smoothie. You went further, didn't you? That's what I want to hear because I know you guys did. It never fails. It never fails. When you can imagine in just that 2.5-minute exercise I did with you, I gave you the instructions. My instructions never changed. My instructions were point that right index finger. Hey, Don, I see Don says, oh my God. And to go as far. I told you, I said, go as far as you can in that room. But every time this happens, people limit themselves. You already had the potential to go further. But in your belief, you limited yourself until you were able to go into your mind's eye, until you were able to visualize and actually see yourself go further. And within 2.5 minutes, you went exponentially. I see someone say almost completely around the room. That's what I'm talking about. You went exponentially further than you can in just 2.5 minutes. How is that possible? How it's possible because of energy, frequency, and vibration. We have this at our disposal each and every time. Why is this topic even important to me? So, as a clinical psychologist, this year marks 27 years I've been in practice. And probably about 15 years ago, I started doing coaching. And it would be amazing to me, amazing how we would start the coaching process, and then after a few years it wasn't amazing anymore. I just look forward to it, but we would start the coaching process, and I would have clients, who had these goals that they wanted to achieve, goals that had eluded them for their entire lives, like they've been trying to just reach these goals, and it was like no success, no success, no success. But the moment we started working and talking about how energy, frequency, vibration is at their disposal and how they just needed to get an alignment with it, you would, and I see V Lynn was one of those coaching clients way back in the past too. It would be amazing. And they would come back to me, within a few weeks and say, "You're not going to believe what happened. You're not going to believe what happened." I'm like, I'm happy for it because I always love the excitement, but I know what happened because it wasn't that the world changed. It wasn't the outer world that changed. The outer world didn't change for you when you did that exercise just a few minutes ago. It was your inner world. It was you getting in vibrational frequency to the things that you want, the things you want to align with and attract in your lives. I use the analogy oftentimes that, source, God, source energy, all it's so much that they just source wants to just bless us with in abundance, and it's right there beyond the veil waiting for us to just welcome it in and usher it in. And I use the analogy of, if you've ever gone to a grocery store, and a little different now because things are not as the same they were 15, 20 years ago, but you just imagine times, I think we've all had the experience where we've put our groceries on a conveyor belt, and then there's something that jams it, right? And so the conveyor belt is still moving, but all your groceries is getting piled up. It's getting piled up against that long roll of aluminum foil, say, and nothing's coming forward. It's just piling up. But the moment you release that barrier, all of those groceries now flood through. They flood in. And it's no different than the blessings that are waiting to come into your life. We just have to remove the barrier. And what's this barrier that we have? It's this barrier of this unawareness of the availability of frequency, energy, and vibration in our lives. When most clients started to coming to me, now almost 30 years ago, and they would report depression, they would report anxiety, they would report whatever, was relationship problems, whatever it was, what it soon became very apparent is that these individuals were out of vibrational alignment to many things. The first thing was who they were. I have a 7-step system that I developed years ago, Bloom 7 Steps to Personal Transformation. And the step number 1 is rediscovering you, because there's no way you're going to ever get in alignment with vibration, alignment with your purpose, if you don't have a firm understanding of who you are. And life, our family, our communities really at times, it's not intentional, but they will rob us many times of as children. I'm a mom of 4, so those of you who have children or you've been around children, from a very young age you start to see the aptitudes these kids have, the gifts that they have. Oh, that kid is hilarious. Oh, they are brilliant. All of these things. But if it's not conducive to what the family system is, you're too open, or you tell too much, or you talk too much, or you're too shy, or you're too emotional. When people start telling you the things that you should not be, it starts to really rob you of the truth of who you are. And that's when the first kind of just break from being in vibrational alignment starts to happen. And so very early on in my practice, I knew what I needed to incorporate was really helping people to come back into conscious awareness, to come back in alignment. And early, probably it would go back 15 years ago, Even before it was Bloom, I had a system called CALMS, and it was conscious awareness to learn to manifest stress. That's what the acronym stood for, CALMS. And this was before the app CALMS. I missed out on that. But it was conscious awareness to learn to manifest success, because becoming consciously aware, which is being mindful, being in the present. That's what conscious awareness is. You know, neuroscientists have told us time and time again that 95% of all of our behaviors that we do, that we engage is unconscious. And that is a travesty. That's such a travesty, because what I found, even now, what I do at Bloom, and we're going to get to that in a second, is that most individuals are walking around and navigating life in an unconscious state. They're not in a conscious state where they're even recognize what's going on around them. And when you're not able to recognize what's going on around you, you miss out on the downloads, on the messages, on the synchronicities, on the supernatural miracles that are happening in our lives each and every day. So people will say, well, how do I know if I'm out of alignment? How do I know? You know, I feel like I'm pretty tuned in. But again, 95% of our waking hours, people are not spent tuned in. Most people are using this beautiful gift of thought that we have, that God blessed us with, and they are future focused. They, especially now, you know, they're watching the news, they're worried about the what ifs, if this happened. They're creating all these scenarios in their head that doesn't serve them. And again, what neuroscientists know is that thoughts create. So our thoughts actually create electrical impulses that affect our emotions. So even when you're thinking of the worst case scenarios of the future, even though it's not happening in the here and now, you are pretty much sending a message to your whole neurology and physiology that it is happening now. So future focused thinking creates this anxiety. Past focused thinking, the what ifs, if only you can go back to better times. Why did that have to happen? If I only had done something different, if I only had not gotten involved with that person, that sort of thinking creates depression. Our gift is learning to be in the present, because that's where our alignment is. That's why it's called the present. It's a beautiful gift. So let's even examine if you are someone who may not be operating in vibrational alignment. So here are a few things I want to ask you. Have you ever found yourself like driving to a familiar location? You're on the freeway, you know where you're going because you've gone there a million times. And then, you know, all of a sudden you realize, wait a minute, where am I? You've passed your exit. You don't even remember the last 3 or 4 miles because your mind was somewhere else. Have you ever found yourself doing that? Do you find yourself going into a room to get an item and then forgetting what item you went into that room? You know, how many of us are guilty of that? Do you find it difficult to be still? Is it necessary for you to be in this perpetual movement all the time? Do you find discomfort in being still? Or do you find discomfort in being alone? Think about the flamingo story. In order to replenish herself, in order to replenish those enzymes, she literally has to remove herself from the flock. But so many of us have a difficult time doing that. And that's one of the reasons I love Rev so much, because you're seeing her journey of, you know, every time we talk on the phone, I joke and say, where in the world is Rev and Shaheerah? Because sometimes you have to remove yourself even from familiar environments to be able to catapult and jumpstart you into a state of mindfulness. Do you need to have a television on in your house? I know I hear people say, I have to have a TV. I have to have a TV. Somebody say, yeah, it feels quantumish. Yes. Brain fog. Joe Harris know what I'm talking about. Do you need to have a television on to go to sleep? You know, I hear people say that all the time. Just that discomfort with even being in silence. Do you find yourself waking up in the morning and you're just scrolling. The first thing, unconsciously, you picking up your phone. You at a red light, you picking up your phone to see what someone has posted. We live in a world right now where this has been one of the biggest, in my opinion, like public health concerns that we have, is this inability to be present because it's creating much of the discord that we are experiencing now as a society in this world. Have you ever overreacted to something, a situation, jump to conclusions, assume the worst case scenario, which may have caused problems in your life or your relationships? That's someone who's not living in conscious awareness. So, this is what unconscious living looks like. And there's no way in the world you're just not going to manifest anything operating from a state of just distraction, of distraction. It's like trying to plant seeds, but you never provide sunlight for those seeds. They will not take root, they will not grow. On the contrary, when a person lives in conscious awareness using energy, vibration, and frequency intentionally, these are some of the outcomes. Some of the beautiful outcomes are serendipitous moments and synchronicities. They become commonplace. I oftentimes share, those of you who follow me online, you see I will share just different occurrences, amazing supernatural occurrences that occur to me in real time, where I know it's nothing but God. I know it's nothing but me being in alignment that allowed something so just random, and it's not random, but to happen. So the flamingo story, think about it. If I was not consciously aware, if I in walking home, just complained about, oh my God, the rain, and here's another thing I gotta be upset about, I'm overwhelmed, I'm depleted, I'm tired, I'm pouring into everybody, and now it's raining on me. And then I come home and I'm just angry and I plop down on the sofa. I would have missed that flamingo. There's so many blessings and miracles that we're missing on a daily basis because we are so distracted with our thoughts. And these thoughts, like I said, produce this electrical frequency, and then our emotions respond. So these emotions of just being angry or upset or depleted or feeling victimized will prevent you from really aligning to all this beautiful, beautiful just occurrences that are waiting to happen in your life. When you are aligned, when you are aware, when you recognize that frequency and vibration and energy is here at our disposals to use and to manipulate, not in a bad way, but to manipulate, it removes the veil between this world and this human existence and the beautiful, just spiritual, supernatural occurrences that want to be part of this human existence that we're having. So, the pink flamingo story, I would have missed that. I shared a story last summer. I went to visit my daughter who studied abroad in Europe, and she studied in Rome, and she was having she was turning 21 during that time. So we took a flight over to Paris, and I had both my daughters there with me, my sisters, my two sisters that come as well. And one of the things, one of my oldest daughter is an artist, and she always wanted to go to Paris to visit the Louvre. I mean, she has more information on those paintings in the Louvre than probably the people who host the tours. So I was very intentional before we left to make sure that I got us tickets and a tour guide so we can go to the Louvre. With that time change difference and the travel the next morning, I took full responsibility. I overslept. And by the time we made it to the Louvre, our tour had already started. And so we couldn't find, it was no way we were going to be able to find this tour guide. There were no more tickets left. I felt, bad. But in that very moment of standing out, and those of you who've been there, you know where I'm talking about, the yard of the Louvre outside in this beautiful courtyard. I'm standing there with my daughter and my two sisters, and I hear someone say, Dr. Rose. And I turn, and it's my neighbor. It's a neighbor that tells me I didn't even know was there, but he was there actually seeing his niece compete in the Olympics. And he happened to be there with his family for a private tour of the Louvre. And he told me he had extra tickets that they weren't using for their party. And just like that, my daughter was able to fulfill, her lifelong just desire to go and really immerse herself in this museum here. And this is just one of so many examples. I tell people all the time, I can write a book on just the different synchronicities and serendipitous moments that occur in my life. And I know it's only happening because I have learned to master the art of being present because I know what that ushers in to my life. So let's talk a little bit more about it. When you align with this, the things you've long struggled to make happen in your life starts to happen with far less effort than you ever imagined. That is the beautiful thing. So often, those of you who've been to my center, Bloom Transformation Center, right here in Rivertown on the water. It's a beautiful location. I tell people, and it's not even joking, I just feel like it's a vortex in and of itself. Because when you come there, you walk in there and you immediately feel the energy of that space in that room. And what I 7, 8 years ago was introduced to was sound healing meditation. Now, I'm a believer in meditation because just like we said our prayers, before we started this broadcast, they say prayer is the act of talking to God, prayer is the act of petitioning God, but meditation is the act of hearing. Meditation is the act of creating a space where you can receive the directions, the download, the navigation from our creator. And so when I started doing the sound healing meditation 8 years ago, I literally did not know what I was getting into. I just experienced it myself personally. There was a wonderful woman that introduced me to it. And I was so blown away at how I felt after that experience. I knew it was something I wanted to incorporate in this new center I opened in Rivertown. I had no idea, God knew, but I had no idea that that would become the thing it has become. Like Dr. Reverend Shaheerah talks about how I've had all this coverage from every news agency in the metropolitan Detroit area has come out there, not me beckoning them, but from word of mouth to do stories on them. We have Belle Isle Park that has us out, and we'll have 200 people on the lawn on Belle Isle being immersed in these frequencies and these sound healing vibrations. More recently, we've had even more, I give it up to Transforming Love Community because you guys have always welcomed me in. But as of late, we've had more and more churches that are bringing me in to do sound healing meditations. That would have been unheard of even 3 years ago, right? But we are being catapulted and into this new existence where we have to recognize the importance and the benefit of vibrational frequency in our lives. And it's so amazing because when people come in, the testimonials are they continue the new dispensation, right? Yes, and you told me that. And, my wise sister mama Shaheerah, we've talked about the new dispensation, and it's happening sped up. It's like quantum, leaps that we are taking towards utilizing vibration, frequency, and energy. Even now, with what we are seeing, even on a political scene, and I'm not going there, but we've got to understand our only role in this is to raise our vibration. That's the only thing you have to do. Raise your vibration because the powers that be understand vibration, frequency, and energy. They've always understood it, and they understand how to use it to meet their needs. We've got to understand how to use it to meet ours, not just individually, but collectively. The new currency is consciousness. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. But to see lives transform, again, 27 years, I've been seeing patients, and I consider myself a good psychologist, and people have made, tons of improvement and achieved goals, under my work as a psychologist, as a retreat host, and it goes on and on. But I will tell you this, Nothing has catapulted people as quickly as this sound healing meditation has. I've had patients that I was seeing who had panic attacks. So they would have panic attacks, usually daily. And I've seen these patients for maybe the last 2 years. They were making improvement. Doctors wanted to put them on medication. But after 3 sessions of sound healing, they come back and say, I haven't had a panic attack in weeks. Rev talked about the TRE, the trauma release exercise that I do. I have a class, you Bloom, our websites will be here. We have a TRE class this coming Thursday. You learn that technique in one day. You have it for the rest of your life. You never have to come back for that technique. But it's energy, it's frequency, it's vibration. When I went to get trained in TRE many years ago, I had just been diagnosed 2 years prior with Crohn's disease. And I had been in an active pain flare up for 3 months. My biggest symptom was pain in my right lower abdomen. And I had been in an active pain flare up for 3 months, so much so that, you learn to live it. I had to modify my food. I had to, it was just so much I had to do, but I still went to this training because I wanted, for the sole fact of wanting to learn this trauma release exercise technique so I can bring it back to you all and teach it to you. I had no idea what it was going to do for me just from the training. So after a week of training and returning home, 3 days into returning home, I realized I couldn't recall the last time I had pain. That was 10, 11 years ago. And I never had a Crohn's flare up since. I'm not on any medication. They've even removed that disorder off my medical records. I had my first colonoscopy. I'm at that age now last year, and clean bill of health. No signs of Crohn's disorder. Frequency, energy, and vibration. Our cells we are vibrational beings. And our cells can be impacted and affected by whatever vibrational surroundings we align ourselves with. So when we tap into these different modalities, such as the sound healing, such as the trauma release exercising, such as living mindfully and presently, and only using your gift of thought for thinking of plans and strategies and executing those plans and strategies, and refraining from using thought to rehash your traumas of the past or using thought to create these worst case scenarios of the future, you will see your life transform. Thoughts create, and so does mindfulness. So every cell in the human body is enveloped. It's enveloped in a magnetic vibrational field. Every single cell, trillions of them we have in our body, is enveloped in a magnetic field. We are energy, we are vibration, and we are magnetic beings, constantly attracting and calling in the energy, frequency, and vibration we are resonating. So if every cell in our body is a magnetic vibrational field, and there's a magnetic pull to it, whatever vibrational state you are in, you are attracting that into your life. So inadvertently, many of us are attracting things we don't want because we don't realize that this state that may have become default for us because we were raised in a household where the vibrations didn't feel good, or it was about engaging in gossip, or not believing, or constant worry, all of that stuff. Those, you are going to continue to just attract those situations in your life. To the contrary, when you understand how you can use vibration, frequency, and energy, and you align yourself and surround yourself with situations, surround yourself with practices that are conducive to a high vibrational state, sound healing, meditation, prayers, connecting with nature, not tuning into the news 24 hours, 7 days a week. When you align yourself with high vibrational surroundings, you undoubtedly will start to attract these miracles, these moments, the supernatural occurrences, the goals that eluded you, that you found so difficult to achieve, will start to just happen with far less effort than you ever imagined. Your life truly will become magical. You are a co-creator. God is an infinite source energy. Think about, God is synonymous with source energy. That's our source. We are co-creating with that. It doesn't mean we just sit here and wait for God to just give it to us, because when you're a co-creator, you got a responsibility. It's like if you go home in your house, and I know we're coming to a end, I'm gonna wrap it up, but it's like when you walk into your house at night and all the lights are off and you're bumping into things. You paid your light bill, but you can't see anything. All you got to do is turn on that switch and create the light. You are a co-creator. All you got to do is flip on this state of being present and aligned, because God, source energy, is there waiting to just fill you with this infinite supply of the energy, the frequency, the vibrations that you need to live a beautiful life. And as co-creators, we can only harness energy by activating it, So, some of the things I just want you guys to just do in the morning to just really start to becoming and getting into vibrational alignment. First of all, come visit us at Bloom. We have sound healing classes 4 days a week. We had just announced our $20 Tuesdays. So that's a great deal starting this Tuesday for a spring special, because you'll be amazed. That is something I like to call it passive healing, because when you come there, we are just bathing you with high vibrational energy, and it's putting you back in alignment. It's recalibrating yourselves. It's putting you back in that position where you're able to operate from a state of mindfulness as opposed to a state of unconsciousness. So the things I want you to do, looking forward to seeing you Tuesday. The thing I want you to do in the morning, of course, your prayer's act of talking and commissioning and petitioning God. Meditation doesn't have to be anything long and drawn out. Meditation can just be, I'm holding up my hands because I talk about it in my book. Meditation could just be tuning into your senses, spending 1 minute and just focusing on something in the room. That's meditating. Going for a walk, looking at the water. I sit here sometimes and just look at the crest of the water, the waves move. That's meditating. Listening to water running, meditating. Set your intention every single morning. Your intention is what it is that you are commissioning, the energy you are commissioning for the day. When you go into rooms, when you go into settings, when you go into the workplace, set your intention. My intention is not to, I have a good friend, Reverend Dr. April Hearn. She says she is the thermostat, not the thermometer. I've heard others say that too. But when you set your intentions, you make yourself the thermostat, meaning you don't bend to the energy that's in the room. The energy in the room starts to bend towards you. That's what setting your attention does. Visualization, as we did when we started out, visualize what you want your day to look like. Visualize even tough conversations you have to have with loved ones, significant others. Like, set the intention before you go in that conversation. Visualize. We're so quick to visualize things going wrong. We're so quick to just ride this wave of this energy that's not going to feel good to us or conducive to the solutions that we see. But when you set your intention and visualization, you again can manipulate your outcome and materialize the results you want. And the last thing I want to share is boundaries. Boundaries are so important. Just like we talk about these cell phones, this is energy. This is they use spiritual awareness to create this, okay? But we take better care of these things than we do ourselves. We plug it up every night so it don't drain. We don't plug ourselves up. I'm giving you ways to plug yourselves up. We create boundaries for our phone. I got a case on it so it don't crack. I put a screen protector on it. Start treating yourself like you treat all these inanimate objects that are energy, frequency, and vibration as well. and look to nature. Look to nature. Nature will never fail us. Nature will tell us what it is we knew. We need to just mimic it. We need to mimic it. So I know we're out of time now, guys. I thank you all for just welcoming me in here again today, Transforming Love Community. I hope you guys got something from this. Follow me online. Share your thoughts, share this video. Please subscribe to Transforming Love Community. Follow myself online and come on in to Bloom so we can start vibrating higher together.
Hey. Ooh, delicious. Delicious. And we're going to bless you because you poured out a lot. We got a lot. I've been taking notes. Thank you for the homework because it is so important that people understand you have to work on yourself. It's your responsibility. So right now, y'all know you're at home, TLC, but you know what to do. Rub those hands together and let's send forth this energy to our Dr. Rose Moten. Dr. Rose Moten, we love you. We behold the Christ in you. We behold Most High in you. We bless you and we see you going forward balanced with your pink, being able to bless the world in the way that the whole Spirit of God wants you to. As you're taking care of God's business, God is taking care of all of your business. And the mark of success is continuously upon everything that you touch. And that's the way it really is. And so be it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you soon.
Oh yes, we're gonna have our group down there too, our TLC group. We haven't planned it yet, but we're gonna do
I
that.
love it. I'm looking forward to it. You
Yeah.
guys. I always love seeing you all.
Wow, family. Oh my God, we got so much. We got so much, and this Saturday we have a free webinar, Quantum Leaping into Abundance, which is all about frequency, energy, and alignment. And I made it pay your own tuition because I didn't want anybody to be left out. I know that some people, they have a price and they say, because they've said it to me, I'm setting this price and this is just for who can afford it. Well, that's cool. Spirit's given me a different kind of attitude and mindset about that whole thing. So Jay, play the clip, play the video about Saturday, and then we're gonna
Greetings, friends. Join Dr. Shaheerah Stevens, CEO and founder of Transforming Love Community, for a Zoom webinar event titled Quantum Leaping into Abundance. Our souls are calling us now to recognize that we are packets of light, endowed with divine abilities to create, heal, manifest, and live a fulfilled life. The crazy in this world is intentional, so we need to intentionally tap into the higher dimensions and fasten ourselves to the visions chosen by our souls. Saturday, March 29th, 2025. Time 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. The price, choose your own tuition. Register now. On March 25th, 2025, you will receive an email with the Zoom event details, so be sure to double-check your email address before sending. Register at www.transforminglovecommunity.com. Registration closes March 25th, 2025.
Yay. So register. It's going to be awesome, and it always is. Spirit is just always awesome whenever Spirit has a vessel that it can utilize. Now we're going to take our offering, and I want to give thanks to everyone who supports this ministry. And take your offering, and if you've already sent it, just take the blessing that divine love always has and always will meet every human need. Divine love, which is what we are, which is what God is. Divine love always has and always will meet every human need. Love will find a way, family. Divine love blesses and multiplies your offering and your gift. It comes back to you 100-fold. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over from places you can't even imagine. Synchronicity does happen once we activate this universal law of giving. And we give thanks and we bless you. Now, stay tuned for our announcements because we do have some other things going on after this. And next Sunday, we have the CEO of Pretty Brown Girl, Sherry Johnson Crawley, coming. So be there with us because now is our time. Yay. Thank you, guys. Go forward today. Make it a great day. You already know it's about your frequency. It's about your attention. Where your attention goes is where the power flows. And as Dr. Moten said today, align. Stay aware. Visualize. See it. Allow. It's all about frequency, energy, and vibration. The Monday soak is canceled tomorrow. And go your way rejoicing. God bless you. I love you.